Samantha, I'm listening to you, and especially, when we talk about the hostages, where I get outraged is that I lived through the Iran hostage crisis. During the Iran hostage crisis, the country came together. People lit candles in the windows. Everyone knew the names of the hostages. It was front page news until they came home. And I'm from New Jersey, so I'm cynical. You'll forgive me. But I say to people, they talk about the hostages. I said, there are no hostages. And they look at me and they tilt their head. I said, if there were hostages, they'd be on the front page of the newspaper every day. We would know their names. You would say their names. You'd hear it from the administration. You'd hear it from Republicans. You'd hear it from Democrats. You'd hear it from everybody. So clearly that's not happening. So there can't be any hostages, which of course there are. And they need to come home, period. End of discussion. But the other thing, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, is I used to wonder how Nazi Germany came about, because not all the German, not all the German people really were Nazis or sympathetic to National Socialism. But isn't it the silence of the people, sort of the everyday people, that allows this to happen? And isn't that some of what we're seeing now, where people are cowed into silence and they're scared of either being canceled or that they're afraid? I mean, to me, it just feels the same. And I now understand it a little better, I think.
Yeah, I feel very similarly. I think that the silence is what scares me. I even have, friends from college who have never said a word. I find it alarming. And I think that one of the things I've tried to say to people, because I get a lot of people who come to me and say, how do I keep being hopeful when so many sad things are happening and so many friends have abandoned me? And what I always say is, like, think of it like a train schedule. When you go to like Grand Central Station and the train times keep, they're switching all the time. That's a little bit like what's happened to Jewish people since October 7th. We've had to totally rearrange our sense of who we can count on, of who our networks are. But I know in my case, for example, I have so many new relationships since October 7th who filled in any gaps that I feel. And I think that all of us can look at that. And sometimes as a seismic event does bring people together in a new way. So I look at it like that. Back to what you said about the hostages, I could not agree more. I remember when Brittany Griner was, being detained in Russia.
Right.
I thought about that woman all the time. I didn't even know who this WNBA player was before this happened, but I was always keeping up with her case. And a lot of Americans were the same way. Nobody knows the names of the 5 American hostages. And it's heartbreaking. I don't get it. And some people knew Hershey's name, but not enough. And it's shocking to me that this is where we are. And I do blame the New York Times and the Washington Post, because they're responsible for Americans being able to spout these names. And they just aren't covering the hostages the way they would if it was any other group of people.
That's right. You guys made a really good point there.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. And the fact that 6 hostages were brutally murdered when they were trying to be rescued says a lot about the value of life that I think Hamas places, or in this case doesn't place, not only on Jews and Israelis, but on their own people. And I have such a hard time with that, because it's Hamas that took the hostages. It's Hamas that uses their children as suicide bombers. It's Hamas that puts their munitions and other things, mixed amongst the public. It's Hamas that calls for the extermination of another people, right? So to me, that's really the issue. And I think, what I've said to people is, I can't define evil, but I know it when I see it, right? And I'm paraphrasing Justice Potter Stewart, of course. But if we can't call what happened on October 7th and the brutal murder just recently of the 6 hostages evil, I think we've almost lost our humanity. And that's what concerns me, combined with the silence.
Absolutely. I cannot get over the reaction of the world. I feel like it's a double punch, right? It's not just the pain that we've all experienced October 7th. It's like anyone, when you are upset about something, then what do you want? You want validation that your pain is real. So to have an entire universe of people invalidating the pain of Israel, or the pain that Jewish people are experiencing right now, is a double tragedy. It really is. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And again, if it was anyone else, it would be fine, right? Black Lives Matter. You had people washing people's feet in at events, for God's sake. Okay, like what
do you
are
mean?
we doing?
It's not consistent. Look, there's a genocide going on in Africa. There's a genocide going on with the Uyghurs in China. There's a genocide going on in Asia with the Hindus. It's not in the news, but oh my God, Israel defends itself. And look, wars are not perfect, and wars are ugly because they're supposed to be rare. Right.
Well, and to your point, Robert, none of us know about casualty figures in the Ukraine-Russia war. None of us know about casualty figures in any other war in history. And so that's what's driven me crazy, especially about the celebrities. Like, these people are selective historians. If you ask them about any other war in history, they would know nothing. And suddenly they're Middle East experts. It's bananas.
Yeah, I got it. Well,
It is
look,
true. It is
I want to segue back to Israel Appreciation Day, because it's not the solution to everything, and this is, as you know, our first annual event, but it really is meant
I think it is the solution to everything, Robert. Israel Appreciation Day is going to solve it all.
Thank you. I have much more modest goals, but that long term, it is about educating people. It is about coming together, and let's not look. I'm sure you and I are going to disagree on other things politically, but that's okay. Let's come together on what we agree on, right? And we're going to disagree on other things, hopefully civilly. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But it's bringing together people that are cross faiths, because in all candor, just Jews supporting Jews doesn't move the needle. It has to be bigger than that. It has to be, within different faith communities. It has to be men and women. It has, and look, no one is ever going to accuse me of being Pollyanna. Right. That's not who I am, just not who it. But as I look at that situation and reached out to form this group of people, it was really Israel Appreciation Day is about trying to get people to understand that it's not just that they're a Jewish homeland. It's not just that it's the U.S. ally. It's all these other things that Israel contributes to the world that are Western values. And as I've said to friends of mine, it's not. The Jews are the canary in the coal mine. If they drive us into the sea, I said to this guy at a conference, I said, "You're Christian." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You're next." I said, "It's really about coming after values that we grew up with. I don't care whether you're Jewish or not."
Absolutely. That's completely true. And I think that, even you saying, like, we're going to disagree on some things. I think one of the most important messages that we're trying to communicate to people is, even with the debate tonight, we need to be in every room. So whoever wins this election, we need to make sure that there are some influential voices in the ear of that winner. And I think that that's one of the things that's been so important, is just making sure we are in every single room, because when we leave spaces because they're not Jewish friendly, that's when we get into real trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gonna be an interesting debate tonight. Do you, I asked Ericka this, I'll ask you this. So, not who's going to win or lose the debate. I'm talking about the election. What do you think the issues are that are most salient for this election? Like, what's the, is it the economy? Is it immigration? I mean, what does this election really turn on, in your opinion?
Oh, good God. I don't think it's a policy election. I really don't. I think it's a popularity contest, and we have two imperfect candidates, and it's a very tricky time. I think there's a lot of fear right now in America, not just about the economy, but about the world. And are we on the precipice of World War III? And what is happening, and who's going to keep us safe, and who knows more about foreign policy, and has more history in the government? I think there's so many complicating factors. And I think that for me, because I'm in this bubble of Jewish activists, I hear all day long, the pro-Israel people on both sides of the aisle constantly arguing. I try to stay as far out of it as possible, because, again, my mission is to unite us, not to separate us. But I think that there are just so many issues right now that people care about. I think that the immigration issue is so big and there's so much misinformation on both sides about what's really going on and who's to blame. And I keep hearing it. So that for me is one that just keeps popping up. But again, I don't trust my social media feed because it's very Jewish focused. So right now I'm not in a good place to tell you. If it was the last election, I could have absolutely told you because I've been involved in politics for 30 years. But now I feel like, I'm in this one issue bubble.
Got it. So I want to end the show. Let's talk about Israel Appreciation Day real quick. So, ladies and gentlemen, Samantha Ettus is going to be with us. She's actually moderating a celebrity panel for Israel Appreciation Day. Care to drop a hint as to who might be on that panel with you? I mean, you can keep it secret if you want.
For those of you who are watching the podcast, I've got some images up from Instagram. So I don't know. I see Shaq. I see Cindy Crawford, Richie Torres. I don't know.
Samantha clearly has reach. Let's leave it at that.
I have reach. So I'll take that compliment. So for Israel Appreciation Day, I put together a panel of some of our 2024 new voices. We have, I don't know if any of you are Risky Business fans, but we have Rebecca De Mornay, who is going to be joining us. She is not Jewish. She's just been a huge ally, and she's incredible and brilliant and awesome. And her video for us went viral, and I think almost 1 million people have seen it right now. She's huge. And then we have Kaya Jones, who was one of the original Pussycat Dolls. And again, she's half Jewish. She's also a well-known Christian gospel singer. She's really fantastic. You know her, Ericka?
Yeah, she's made a pivot.
That's for sure. Yeah, she's character, and she's awesome, and I love hearing her talk because she has so much personality. And then we have a third guest that I'm going to keep a surprise for all of you, but I can tell you that it's going to be a very dynamic panel that we are super excited about. And one of the things I'm also excited to ask these celebrities is, when so much of Hollywood is silent, what made them different? Why did they take the risk? Why have they chosen to speak out? So I'm really eager to hear their answers.
Yeah. And I think that is probably the most important thing, Samantha, that you are working on, is how do we encourage courage? How do we get people to summon courage and stand up for what is right? And I love that that's what you are working on with 2024 New Voices, and what we're all working on with Israel Appreciation Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, absolutely. Samantha, thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a busy schedule to join us for Of the People. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Israel Appreciation Day. Ladies and gentlemen, IsraelAppreciationDay.com, September 18th. And you're going to see Samantha Ettus. So if you're not going to tune in to see me, and I wouldn't, that's okay. You want to tune in to see her and who the mystery celebrity guest is going to be.
Ooh, I'm into it. I love it. Thank you so much, Samantha Ettus. Everyone, go check her out. We've got all her links in the description. Check out her Instagram and make sure to follow her. All right.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Samantha.
All right. That was fun. She's great.
Absolutely. That's why I'm glad she's part of Israel Appreciation Day.
Oh, that's going to be a fun, because I'm a little bit of a gossip when it comes to celebrity culture.
You're also a fangirl.
I am. So this is going to be fun. I love it. I think it's going to be fun.
It'll be fun, but it'll be educational and entertaining too. The messaging is important. It's the amount of misinformation, as Samantha said, or ignorance, as I would say, certainly among the college kids and even across America. But it's also to give those people, whether they're red dots and blue ponds or blue dots and red ponds, I haven't quite figured out yet, but that they're not alone, because there is so much pro-Israel support in the country. They just feel isolated, because I think that's by intent. I think the other side is so well funded and so well organized. There's a reason they all have the same looking tents on campus, right? Right. They all, it's not like they, just all suddenly went to the same Campmore store.
Yeah. We've got a New Voices video actually ready to go, and we've got a few minutes left. Is it okay to play it?
Oh, of course it is. We should have played it when she was there. It's my bad. But let's show everyone the video from Samantha Ettus's 2024 New Voices.
All right.
It's a new year with new voices.
It's a new year with new voices.
It's a new year with new voices joining us every day.
I am a proud Jewish woman. I hope you'll stand against anti-Semitism with me.
I just want to say that I am a Jew. I'm a proud Jew. 2024 is the year of new voices.
It's a new year with new voices.
We finally have new voices joining me in the fight against anti-Semitism.
It's those who speak up for others that actually make the biggest difference.
I want to make my position very clear.
I hope you will stand with me.
I hope that you will stand with me in the fight against anti-Semitism.
Of course, I stand against anti-Semitism.
I hope you'll stand with me against anti-Semitism.
I stand 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 against anti-Semitism.
We stand against anti-Semitism.
And it's time for you to stand up with me.
That's amazing. That was good.
It's a great video. It's a great video. And if we could, I would like to clone her. I think we need more Samantha Ettus in the world. Right? We need an army. And Samantha, if you're still listening, we need to clone you. So
Yes. Amen.
Israel Appreciation Day. And if you haven't gone to the website, we have a series of speakers, 30 or so people speaking from across America and from across the country. We have a retired Brigadier General Aviv from Israel. We have Melanie Phillips, who is just British journalist, but just really an incredible force for good in all of this. There's so many other speakers. We're also going to have Congressman Richie Torres. We're going to have Senator Cory Booker. We're going to have Congressman Eli Crane.
I love it. Robert, look at you. Look at you putting together bipartisan events.
Okay. It's not me, it's us. But yes, it's come together. Armstrong Williams, David Bragg. You've got Chris Widener. One of the people really interesting to hear is Hussein Mansour, who, Egyptian born, but is just, really has lived both sides and understands it. Just incredible. Melissa Mayo. And by the way, we have John Andrasik, who's going to perform at the intermission, who's Five for Fighting, who was in Hostage Square. It's just an incredible program that we've put together.
Amazing. And the deputy mayor of Jerusalem? What?
Former,
bro. That's amazing. I love it. This is going to be awesome.
We also have, if you go all the way up to the top, one of our keynotes is Patricia Heaton. Everybody loves Raymond.
America's mom, ladies and gentlemen.
America's mom. So there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Of the People with Robert Chernin and Ericka Redic. And we will see you next week on location, which was supposed to be secret, Ericka, but thank you for spilling the beans on that.
My bad.
If you want to,
say where.
If you want to see something in the news at 6 o'clock, just tell Ericka. It'll be on the news at 6 o'clock.
Nobody knows where. So
exactly. Well, they do now. They do now.
Oh my God. Now I'm going to be known as that Spider-Man guy who gives away all the information. Okay. All right, boss. We're going to take him out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching this along, we thank you. And we ask that you show your appreciation by leaving a like, share your thoughts down in the comment section. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you are watching so you never miss an episode. And next week, we will be coming to you from location at the event. Did you see that? I didn't screw it up that time. So we're going to be coming to you live.
You're batting
from
500.
Area where we will be talking about Israel Appreciation Day.
Area 51, ladies and gentlemen.